Like, yes, we know there's a lot of influence things that influence um therapy, so to say. Hi, hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Our Empowered Women, where we have the realest conversation about growth, healing, and everything in between. I know I would always have here with me Victoria. Yeah. Okay, today we'll be talking about things that a lot of us grew up avoiding, so to say, and where we have a lot of misconception about, and we sometimes some religions actually have different belief, and so to say, society at a whole, our social belief or social influence on these things are so evident that we can't shy away from it. And
Listen to you now. It's a lot.
it's a lot. So we are going to be talking on therapy, trauma, and taboo. I hope you enjoy this section. Have you ever been told to just pray it away? Or have you ever been told that your pain are not valid? Or, when you have a breakdown, they just tell you, oh, it's just random stress. I mean, everybody goes through it.
And get up and move on.
Do you get? I feel like, yes, majority of the time, we are being told to just wave it away rather than actually look into what it is and find way around it.
Yeah.
Victoria, I mean, let's talk about therapy. What do you think? Like, what are your views on this?
I would say that therapy in Nigeria is coming up, or it's something that we shy away from as a people because we have the misconception that therapy is for white people. Why are you going to therapy? Why are you going to waste your money there? Can't you just pray about it? So maybe just really, by the time you wake up, you forget all about your problems and stuff like that, right? So therapy in this part of the country is kind of shied away from. I mean, I hear people say, okay, they are going to therapy now, but it's not where we would like it to be, right? And honestly, if you are going through something, there is nothing wrong with you going to therapy or you talking to people about it. Because, like they say, a problem half shared, the problem half solved. Yes, so it is important.
And I feel like the society we live in, it is going to be so much appreciated if we embrace this thing. Like, yes, we know there's a lot of influence things that influence um therapy, so to say. Majority of the time, some people, their financial status does not really even help things. But then I feel like we've evolved as a society, and why I say that is a lot of things are now at our doorstep, and
Yeah.
the when we start paying attention to it, I feel like we would utilize them more. We have a lot of NGO organizations that offer this therapy free. They are free. Like, you can easily access them, talk about what you're going through. And we have different communities that has been created now that you can just join, and before you know it, you have access to one or two people that that you can speak with, that you can talk to. And I just feel like we have these things at our doorstep. Majority of the time, they are not being utilized because of our mindsets about them, how we view it, what we think they are. That's just it, literally. That's just what it is for me. And another thing is trauma.
Yeah.
When we hear the word trauma, majority of the time we feel like it's those dramatic trauma. But then trauma is not always about abuse. Trauma is not always about it's not always something huge. It's
Yeah.
not always violence. Sometimes it's just um things that you have to like face early in life. Taking for instance, firstborns, there's this
Oh,
expectation that
yeah.
people have for you. Like there's this way that there's this thing that life throws at you that you just have to grow up quick. And majority of the time, this thing comes off as trauma to us. What do you feel trauma is? Like, how do you feel it to be? What exactly does it, when you hear the word, how does it ring in your head?
Okay, so I think that it's not just about, oh, like I said, it's not just about, oh, maybe there was one abuse that maybe they beat you, or there was a whole lot of violence when you were growing up, or things like that. It's actually, it stems from our environment, from maybe the house that you grew up in, where you feel like you're not safe, or maybe things that you've seen actually, and then you feel like you can't talk to anybody about it. So it's not always going to be the big things, right? But there's always the smaller things that you may think is not a problem, but it's always at the back of your mind, and it's always affecting the things that you do, and it's not a good like effect. It's actually like a negative effect. And so with trauma, right, you need to be aware, and you need to accept that, okay, this thing is here and I don't like the way it is making me feel. I
Of
do I
course.
want to talk to somebody about it? How do I want to go about it? And honestly, that's where the therapy comes in. If you know you don't have somebody that you can talk to, like as a friend that you can talk to, and there's always the option of therapy, right? Because you're not going to be judged. Because another thing I would say, the reason why people do not talk is because they feel like they will be judged, and they feel like by the time people see them or they look at them, they see the stigma, or they're seen as like a stigma or like a problem, because they've already told their problem, right, to people, and so they see them as maybe they pity them or something like that. People don't want to be pitied like that, and so that's why we have therapy. The therapist is not going to talk to other people about you. The therapist is a professional, so they're going to do things by the book, and they're not going to have any negative effect on you. And you're still going to come out stronger and better
And
than you were
better.
before,
Honestly,
right?
the hardest part of trauma is that we tend to carry it into different aspects of our life, stream down to our relationship, work, motherhood, even down to our faith. If these things are not being cared to, if they are not being attended to, we tend to like, bring it down to things, and it begins to affect things that even people that we love,
Yeah.
things that we
It's
have
how you
around.
do things, how you talk to
And
people.
yes, of course. Another thing to talk about in this section is taboo. So, taking for instance, therapy, just like we said, we have different beliefs regarding this. Some people just feel like some things are not needed. And I feel like in the world we live in now, we should have lived past a lot of things.
Yes, actually.
A lot of the kind of mindsets we have, the kind of our opinion to things should be different. Like enough of you keeping
Hiding,
quiet,
love of
enough of the fact that
silence.
they tell you, oh, um, our mothers, they went through
They went
this
through
and they did
a
well.
lot more.
Just because they did well does not mean that I'm supposed to do well in that aspect. And we need to understand that we vary, our ways of things varies. Even the life they lived there, then, so to say, is actually different from the life that we are living now. A lot of things have changed, down to our social amenities, a lot of things that we have to embrace. Even mindsets, even the mindset of people around you has changed. So we don't have to always bring those lifestyle as a blueprint for the
For
way we
where we're
should
going to
live
be
now.
today.
Honestly, we need to like start. Should I use the word okay? Should we really
Well,
honestly? I don't know. It's not
let's
like
use what we
it's not
pass.
like I want to like I'm trying to like rebel. No. But then these things tends to like hold us back a lot of time. Like the belief that you can normalize pain. You can just learn to, keep it to yourself. You need to start embracing talking, asking for help. You are not meant to be a superman. You're
Yeah.
not meant to be. You're not. I don't know. Literally, I have no place.
The truth is that if you do not talk about your pain, it eats you up, and then you may be smiling on the outside, but you are dying on the inside. And honestly, it is words like, "Oh, you need to like be strong. You're not supposed to show pain. You're not supposed to like talk and all of that." That actually pushes people to suicide. The truth is, it's actually important for you to be able to talk and bear your mind, because when you do not talk, or when you keep something in you, you're dying inside, right? And you may come out all smiley and everything, but by the time you are alone, you're dying, and then not talking feels like as if you're killing yourself
Of
more,
course.
right? And then it's things like that that lead to suicidal thoughts. It's things like that that lead um to self harm. And honestly, I don't man was not made to be
I'm
alone.
you.
Man was not made to be alone, right? That's why God created Eve, that um, Adam should have a companion. And we're not even talking about the whole man and woman situation here. But the point is, man was not made to be alone. Man was we were created so that we could each have somebody to talk to, have somebody to be able to talk to, right? And so we need to normalize being able to cry,
When
and
needed.
yes, when needed. And we need to also normalize asking for help and talking to people and going to therapy, because all these things are a way for us to survive in this crazy world, because the world is crazy. And so you just need something that would keep you firm. And honestly, being quiet
It's not the way out.
is not the way out.
Honestly. And I feel like another thing I'm just grateful for in this society that we live in is, especially people are beginning to understand that there are demands for therapy, there are demands for therapy, so to say. Most especially, one aspect that the therapy is has been able to like engulfed in is postpartum depression. Majority of the time, people like back then they don't even understand that this thing exists, but more like gradually there's now more sensitization to make
Towards
people
it.
understand that when you see a woman just give birth and she's acting weird, does not mean that she's overthinking it or she's being lazy or she's not a woman. She might be going through something. Please, she might be going through something. We need to learn to pay attention to people around us. Most especially when you see people undergo a very huge change from what they used to be. We know that pregnancy, childbirth is one of the huge change
Yeah.
women go through. So pay attention to them. Know when this person is being the shadow of herself and know when to come in. We need to start embracing
Yeah.
these things, understand it. There's a lot of knowledge has been thrown out there for us to like see that these things exist. But the important thing is us as a person embracing it and incubating it into our daily lifespan. Honestly, what do you have to say?
See that postpartum depression thing and people in the environment. That is another story for another day. But I would say that these things are difficult, right? For the example, postpartum depression, you've just gone through 9 months of your body changing and all of that, and you know that your body is not going to go back to what it used to be, right? And then for one reason or the other, health wise, um, you this person gets depressed. Now is not the time to be pushy on the person. And now is not the time to say, why are you looking like this now? Why are you being haggard and all of that? Now is not the
It's
time.
not just
I feel
child.
like as a people, we need to be kind with our words.
We
That
really
that one is
do.
also important. We need to be
Honestly.
kind with our words, and we need to understand that people are going through a lot because they are not particularly in your face shouting that, oh, I'm sad and I'm depressed and all of that does not mean anything. They are going through a lot, and so you need to be kind as a person talking to like others, right? So I would say my message for today is please be kind. You don't know who is going through what, so just be kind and listen to people, right?
And overall, this section is just to let you know that yes, you can embrace therapy.
Right.
Yes, you are
Perfectly
not
normal.
overthinking that stress. Yes, your pain is valid. And yes, that trauma is not lead to see a therapist.
Yes, I would like to also mention that um, as an occupational therapist, and I know that you are thinking, what is an occupational therapist and how does this come into therapy? Well, we actually offer therapy services that are also in line with mental health, like the mental health space, right? So which means that you can get an occupational therapist that helps you or works with you to your life. I don't want to say get your life back on track, but kind of sits with you and walks you through the steps of regaining some level of normalcy or being able to live with whatever problem you may have that may not be going away, right? So yeah, so that is it.
Thank you very much, Victoria. So that will be the end of today's section.
Mm-hmm.
Please do it to like, to subscribe, and to comment on our YouTube channel. Until next time,
Bye.
bye.